Hello and a very warm welcome to a rather chilly opening round of the 2013 Club 100 Lightweight and Heavyweight Sprint Championships. The big change to the race format for 2013 is a move to the two-final format, favoured by the Premier and Clubman classes, but time qualifying is retained to maximise practice time on track. The first round of heavyweight finals is coming up shortly, but we begin with lightweights, where the minimum driver weight is 75 kilos. With at least a dozen drivers promoted from last year's field, including 8 of the top 10, the lightweight class is wide open for 2013. After time qualifying, Sam Sheehan has pole position ahead of Miguel Hall. The experienced Glenn Beard starts inside of row 2 with Greg Aaron on the outside. Luke Cousins and Rob Swindles start on row 3. Frederick Gallagher, Julian Clist, James Reveller and Eric Mignon round out the top 10. Club 100 have managed to squeeze the whole class into one grid, so this at 32 karts is one of the biggest grids in Club 100 sprints I can remember. And Miguel Hall has moved over onto the pole side. Kart number 8 with the green lid takes the start in pole position, and the charge is on down to turn 1. And Miguel Hall leads. Glenn Beard trying to get on his bumper. And left on the outside, Sam Sheehan now under pressure from Greg Aaron down to the first hairpin. Everybody's made it through in the leading group. Sheehan looking to the inside of Glenn Beard to get second place back. Glenn Beard now forced to go the long way round into the S's if he wants to keep second, and Sheehan is back through. Miguel Hall already pulling out a couple of car lengths on the rest of the field as they all come streaming through. Down time sweep, Rob Swindles running out wide, badly positioned to take the paddock corner. So far it looks like everybody's made it through without too much contact. Rounding out lap 1 now, coming out through the centre chicane and up to Cafe Curve. And it's Miguel Hall leading by half a second from Sam Sheehan. Glenn Beard. Lots of battles going on already in the midfield. And of course it's a very big midfield. He's the leading pack into hairpin 1. Beard trying to get back on Sheehan's bumper. Beard racing an easy car. Looks like a new paint job for a crash helmet. Got a paint thing over chrome going on there. But it's Hall, Sheehan, Beard under pressure from Greg Aaron. Rob Swindles getting on his bumper. And we're on board with Swindles now. This is more like the line he should be on. Now he needs to drop into the apex and he's missed it. Now will he be close enough at Garda? Indeed, he's getting a run. He's coming in late and hard and he's through. Well, he made it hard for himself, but he is through. Sam Sheehan on the bumper of leader Miguel Hall to round out lap 2. And the pair are pulling clear of Glenn Beard. Sheehan not close enough for Conways. Looking down the inside, coming into hairpin 1, not close enough either. Swindles pulling clear of Aaron, who in turn's coming under pressure from Luke Cousins. Frederick Gallagher, James Reveller, Lee Hackett, Richard Ward into the top 10. Through the S's, here they come. Yellow flag out, somebody's off down at paddock. Moving again now. The back of the field, Harrison Darville in the thick of the action. Sweeping through kart number 30, Oscar John Cook making progress. And it looks as though it's Keith Segal who's gone off. And now he's in the way, Miguel Hall giving Sam Sheehan a chance to close in. And Keith Segal needs to get out the way. He's finally done that, waved him through, but the chance is on for Sam Sheehan. Getting a good run out of Conways, but it's Glenn Beard down the inside into hairpin 1. Taking an opportunity created by the back marker. Although Sheehan's come straight back in, forced to go round the outside. Beard makes sure he can't do the crisscross and come under him into the S's. So it's Sheehan down to third, and we're back on board with Rob Swindles. Plunging down the side sweep. It's steeper than it looks on camera. It's a cliche that they always use on TV, but it's true. Greg Aaron hasn't given up on running down Rob Swindles. Getting very close to the bumper of Sam Sheehan through centre. And then back uphill to Cafe Curve. And Sheehan coming by Glenn Beard. He's got the inside track and he will go through. So Sheehan showing that he's got good pace out of Garda up to the top of the hill. Seems to be struggling down here, and Glenn Beard once again gets his wheels down the inside of hairpin 1. Swindles forced onto the grass, but he'll have the inside line for hairpin 2, and Greg Aaron's on the prowl. Now it's a game of chicken with the tyres on the inside of the S's side by side with Beard. And they've made it through, and look who's coming up behind. Frederick Gallagher's right there, along with Luke Cousins. Cousins in the black in 25. Frederick Gallagher in the blue in car number 20. And here comes Glenn Beard down the inside of Greg Aaron. Having lost the spot, he gets it back. Aaron trying to get back on his bumper, trying to hold off Luke Cousins. There's more back markers ahead for the leaders. Sam Sheehan about to put James Kimmins down a lap. Oh, and he spins out and nearly collects him. And Glenn Beard's forced to run wide. Fastest lap times here will be a factor in setting the grid for final two. So it's worth keeping an eye out for that ticker as it appears. Richard Ward running in 10th. Has got pole position provisionally for now. But it's a 16-lap final. Now there was a move going on there behind. And it's Glenn Beard now under pressure from James Reveller. Going down Sime Sweep. We saw Richard Ward on the back of that group. The rest of the field coming through. Rob Swindles has got ahead of Sam Sheehan. I think that's what we saw at the top of the hill. So Rob Swindles up to second. 1.5 seconds down on leader Miguel Hall. Greg Aaron stuck behind car number 18. Wojciech Zarzak, and Luke Cousins is able to drive round the outside of him. Frederick Gallagher trying to go with him. Can't get it done. And Aaron hangs on to 5th. Behind them, Glenn Beard under pressure from James Reveller, Lee Hackett, Richard Ward joining the tail of that battle. And Lee Hackett had to go narrow there to hold off Ward into the hairpin. Coming downhill then, it's Hall with 6-7 kart lengths on Swindles, Sheehan. Gap then to Luke Cousins, Greg Aaron, Frederick Gallagher, Glenn Beard. James Reveller, Lee Hackett. Gap then to Ward. Coming through then, it's Daniel Truman, Josh Petit. In car number 3, Julian Clist, Aaron McClure. Reveller trying to get good drive out of Senna to get on the bumper of Glenn Beard. Over start finish for a move down at Conway's. Takes a look over his shoulder to see how much space he's got to work with. On board with Tim Campbell, going a lap down to Swindles and Sheehan. Miguel Hall already through. Swindles got past Roger Jenkins, who's a lap down. Oh, there's been some contact, and Sam Sheehan's got past Jenkins and picked up second place. Swindles goes through now, passing James Kimmins, who's 2 laps down. Greg Aaron and Luke Cousins right up behind that pack now. Joining them, Frederick Gallagher. Oh, there's more contact as Jenkins and Kimmins get in the way. And Greg Aaron's gone through. Frederick Gallagher ahead of Luke Cousins. Glenn Beard's going to have a chance into Garda. Can he get through? He can't. Oh, look at that. James Reveller takes a chance and has got inside with Lee Hackett of Glenn Beard. Beard going backwards here. Richard Ward taking a watching brief at the back of the pack, looking to the inside into Conway's. As we watch Greg Aaron trying to find a way past Roger Jenkins. He's done it. He's pushing his way by. Jenkins needs to get out of the way. Wear the blue flags when you need them. Reveller looking to the inside of Gallagher. Can't get it done, and Luke Cousins is trying to find a way back past Reveller. Through the S's and down Sime Sweep. We're back on with Swindles, chopping through the traffic now, taking no prisoners. Beard to the inside of Roger Jenkins, a lap down. Needs to get out of the way. Roger Ward looking to the inside of Lee Hackett behind. Can't get it done. Frederick Gallagher stays in 4th place. Aaron on his bumper over start finish. Cousins holding off James Reveller. And Glenn Beard's been dropped with the blue flags finally out. As we watch Josh Petit and Julian Clist pass over start finish, fighting over 12th place. Oscar John Cook sets the fastest lap and has pole for the second final. Reveller trying to push his way past Luke Cousins. Shake of the head from Cousins into the S's as they put down Syed Vedat down a lap as they go into Sime Sweep. Not a lot of places to hide there. Only one line through the plunge. Richard Ward losing a little bit of ground on Lee Hackett. Reveller once again tapping on the bumper of Luke Cousins, and Glenn Beard's been able to close back in. Miguel Hall's lead is 1 second over Sam Sheehan, who's got 8/10 on Rob Swindles. They're 6 seconds clear of this dice. Glenn Beard looks to the inside of James Reveller and goes through. And here comes Lee Hackett as well, and Richard Ward looks to the inside of the hairpin. Has to stay behind. Hackett defends to the inside of hairpin too. Reveller will try the undercut. Oh, nearly collects a back marker that's parked there. I think that's James Kimmins. And look, joining this group now, kart 37 for the first time, Daniel Truman. The dicing ahead has given him a chance to close in. So we've got a 4-way dice here over 8th place. Truman trying to close in. There's your race leader, Miguel Hall. Sam Sheehan, Rob Swindles. Big gap then back to Frederick Gallagher in 4th place. Here he is under pressure from Greg Aaron. Luke Cousins will use this opportunity to close in. Try and get in the mix with Glenn Beard. Gallagher on the defensive in a hairpin 1. Aaron on his bumper. And Luke Cousins is able to close in. Now he's on the wrong side. Will he try the undercut? He's trying to get under him into the S's. Can't get it done. Gets back online quickly before Glenn Beard comes by. Downhill into Syme Sweep. Through Pullmans. The nose of Greg Aaron's car was all over the place there, and Luke Cousins was sideways going into the paddock corner, and Richard Ward's got past James Reveller. So Ward up to 9th. Miguel Hall running into more back markers. That's Andrew Farmer. He moves on to lap 13. Gallagher and Aaron coming across in the fight for 4th, beginning to drop Luke Cousins and Glenn Beard. Reveller ahead of Daniel Truman. Josh Petit comes through on his own in 12th. Clist. Roger Jenkins a lap down. 24 is Aaron McClure, followed by Oscar John Cook in 15th. And there's another battle going on at the back of the field. Kart 17, Kenan Vedat, Tom Lee, Harrison Darville. So the field is splintered. Never mind the back markers, some of whom are 3-4 laps down now. Down at the bottom of the hill, Reveller under pressure from Truman and Ward. Sam Sheehan's caught up with Andrew Farmer to put him a lap down. Sam Sheehan booking his place on the front of the grid. That's pole position. What a good time to put in a fast lap. Now, can he do anything about Miguel Hall, who's setting quick laps of his own? He's on the front row, I think, already, putting Tim Campbell another lap down. Sam Sheehan getting around James Kimmings. Hall then down at paddock, looking as though he's comfortable and heading for victory. Campbell lets Sam Sheehan go. Rob Swindles now behind Tim Campbell, looking to go round the outside, having to take to the gear block, tipping in over the top into Cafe Curve. Here's the real battle on track. It's Frederick Gallagher, Greg Aaron, Luke Cousins now coming back at Aaron over start finish, looking to the inside, can't get it done into Conways. Further back, battle for 20th place. Harrison Darville going past Tom Lee into Garden. I think Tom Lee's already lost out to Tristan Marchant. There's Marchant coming through Cafe Curve. He's moved up to 19th place. Campbell doing his best to get out of the way as the leading battle for position comes through. End of the penultimate lap. This time round it'll be the final lap, and look, Greg Aaron went very deep into paddock. The leader takes the final lap board, comfortably clear of Sam Sheehan. Rob Swindles is heading for 3rd. The big worry now is tripping over a back marker. More waving from Tim Campbell, doing the best that he can. Richard Ward ahead of Daniel Truman. Truman trying to come back at him into Conways. So Richard Ward moves into the top 10. The rest of the field coming through. Kenan Vedat under pressure from Tristan Marchant, who's speeding up at the end of this first final. And that may prove useful for a good grid slot for the second final. Rob Swindles, oh look at that, the leader Miguel Hall nearly collected by Syed Vedat. He takes the win, but given a scare ahead of Sam Sheehan and Rob Swindles. Who'll be 4th? It's Frederick Gallagher ahead of Greg Aaron, who's just going to hold off Luke Cousins. Well, the eagle-eyed amongst you will see that Rob Swindles and everybody behind him has moved up 1. Sam Sheehan has been demoted to 6th place, picking up a penalty, I believe, for an advantage by contact. Quite possibly when he overtook Rob Swindles at hairpin 1 during the lap-in of Roger Jenkins. Back to lightweights to begin the second round of finals. Fastest lap times from the first final sets this grid, and Luke Cousins set the fastest time, so he will start from pole position. Greg Aaron, who eventually finished just off the podium, starts on the front row with him. Final one poleman, Sheehan, starts third, with second place Rob Swindles on row 2. Final one winner Miguel Hall starts 5th, Frederick Gallagher 6th. Oscar John Cook, Andrew Farmer, Glenn Beard and Lee Hackett are in the top 10 of what is once again a 32-car grid, readying themselves for the battle around the twists and turns and undulations of the famous Buckmore kart circuit. So Luke Cousins in the black kart 25 controlling the pace. The Union flag is flying and we're charging down to turn 1, and the lead is Luke Cousins, and Miguel Hall's come through from 5th on the grid to come out of turn 1 in 3rd behind Greg Aaron. Glenn Beard down the inside though on his bumper. Sam Sheehan, was there a bit of contact there? Well, of course there was. It's a final and it's the first lap. Whoa, more heavy contact in the midfield. We'll have to let this group sort themselves out front. It's Cousins and Aaron ahead of Glenn Beard, Rob Swindles. There's still some people starting at the back of the field. So sweeping through Pullmans down to paddock. Anybody to launch one down the inside? Miguel Hall's got Daniel Truman tapping on his bumper. Oh, and Rob Swindles has run out of talent, and he's reversed to a stop at Garda. The field comes streaming through. A good grid slot wasted by Swindles. Ending lap 1 then. Sheehan under pressure from Beard. Round the outside there's contact. Beard takes the spot back. Hand gestured there, is he waving him back through? It's difficult to tell. So Beard hangs on to 3rd ahead of Sheehan. Miguel Hall looking to the inside into hairpin 2. Gets inside. Sheehan trying to go inside of Beard. Getting back in line. Sheehan says, come on, follow me. We don't need to fight yet. We need to get ahead of Glenn Beard. Luke Cousins and Greg Aaron are pulling clear. Sheehan wants to be by. Miguel Hall under pressure from Frederick Gallagher. And that's Daniel Truman, who's come out all guns blazing in this second final. Lee Hackett gets through at Garda as well, so Gallagher going backwards. And the next man up is Andrew Farmer. Now Sheehan very close to Glenn Beard over start finish. Richard Ward almost losing it on the exterior cafe curve. Awfully quick there, and there won't be much grip in these temperatures. So the field stream through. We're back with the battle for 3rd. Sheehan trying to find a way past Glenn Beard. Trying to see off Miguel Hall at the same time. Luke Cousins has got a kart length on Greg Aaron out front. Downhill they come. Beard, canny racer, races in easy kart as well. Gallagher a bit wild through Pullmans. That should give Daniel Truman a chance up at Garda. Luke Cousins, Greg Aaron pulling away of Glenn Beard. Further back, contact there, 22 Mike Bruford, 7 is Tristan Marchant. I think they've just got past James Bailey. It's deep in the midfield, about 15th, 16th position. Everybody coming through. Oh, running out wide by Bruford. Trying to get back online. Not the fast line, but he has got ahead of James Bailey. Somebody off there at the hairpin. I think that could be Roger Jenkins. 41 Andrew Farmer ahead of Frederick Gallagher through the S's. Marchant, Bruford, Bailey, Kenan Vedat under pressure from Aaron McClure. Down at paddock, oh, Tristan Marchant throws away sloppily. 13th place. And Kenan Vedat's got past James Bailey. Down at Garda, Miguel Hall trying to find a way past Sam Sheehan. That looked as though it was his second attempt at Conway's. Looking to the inside at hairpin 1. Hardly convincing. If you're going for it, go for it. Out of hairpin 2. Sheehan losing ground on Glenn Beard now, who can now concentrate on trying to run down the leaders, Luke Cousins and Greg Aaron. Aaron getting closer to Cousins' bumper. Marchant waiting to pick up a pusher cart to get restarted. No overtaking down here. I think they almost slowed down. Your race leader under pressure, Luke Cousins from Greg Aaron. Through Cafe Curve, I think Aaron had a better line through the corner, but he's not close enough for Conway's. No prizes for fastest laps in final 2. Just bragging rights later. Very cold here at Buckmore Park. There's still some snow on the inside of hairpin 1. Temperatures below 0, I reckon, with a wind chill of about -5. So very little grip. Everybody wrapped up warm, apart from the drivers. Gets damn chilly. So Greg Aaron looking for a way by. It's fairly hot up front here. So coming round to end lap 6, Luke Cousins and Greg Aaron are 1.8 seconds clear of Glenn Beard. Sam Sheehan still under pressure from Miguel Hall. 39 Lee Clackett on his own. Andrew Farmer staying ahead of Frederick Gallagher. Daniel Truman, James Reveller rounds out the top 10. The rest of the field streaming through. Harrison Darville's lost ground on Aaron McClure and now has the attention of Chris Scivier. Cart number 40, John Corrigan. Tom Lee, Eric Mignon, Julian Clist in close company. Greg Aaron looking like he's beginning to push Luke Cousins hard for the lead. Down at paddock, love tap, no contact, has a think about the inside of Garda. Roger Jenkins getting a lap back from Saeed Vedat, and that'll give an opportunity to Josh Petit to go through and pick up 25th. Oscar John Cook down the inside of Reveller and Truman, and Reveller finds himself behind Richard Ward and down in 12th place. Andrew Farmer still hanging on to 7th place ahead of Frederick Gallagher. Oscar John Cook moving forward though. Battle for 13th place, Mike Bruford holding off Kenan Vedat and James Bailey. 24 out of Aaron McClure trying to run them down. Harrison Darville. Car number 40, John Corrigan still holding off Tom Lee. Coming under pressure from Eric Mignon and Julian Clist. Lee hanging onto the spot. Down to the hairpin, and Clist goes to the inside of hairpin 1. Can't get it done. And he's not close enough for hairpin 2. That's the battle for 20th place. We're coming up to half distance. Luke Cousins leads by, well, you can see there, 0.3 of a second ahead of Greg Aaron. They're still 1.5 seconds clear of Glenn Beard. Miguel Hall through in 4th place. He's 0.4 of a second ahead of Sam Sheehan. Aaron McClure down the inside of James Bailey. Can he get it done? He can't. James Bailey hangs on to 15th place. Harrison Darville looking the wrong way. Chris Scivier though can't go by. The road going in Darville's favour. Richard Ward still following Daniel Truman. Truman in 10th. Oscar John Cook ahead of them in 9th. Trying to run down Frederick Gallagher. Gallagher looking at the back of Andrew Farmer. Just can't get close enough. The leader's into more back markers. And it looks as though Luke Cousins has finally pulled a car length or 2 on Aaron McClure. Sam Sheehan hasn't given up on chasing down Miguel Hall. Hall though concentrating on going forward. A quiet race for Lee Hackett in 6th. John Corrigan very narrow into Garda, trying to hold off Harrison Darville. No way through for Darville. He'll have to come back and try again. They're running in behind Chris Scivier in 17th. Oh, Oscar John Cook getting sideways out of hairpin 1. Is this a chance for Truman? It's a chance for Reveller. Reveller's got past Richard Ward. More back markers through the S's. Ward finds himself behind Reveller, down in 12th. And Greg Aaron took a bite out of Luke Cousins for the lead. Couldn't get it done that time. Farmer now under pressure from Gallagher. Andrew Farmer's had a fairly quiet run in 7th place after the opening couple of laps. And now he's got Gallagher, Cook, Truman, Reveller, and Mike Bruford will be not a million miles away from the back of Richard Ward. Cook under pressure from Truman. Going a little bit narrow to put him off. Runs him out wide over the curb. Well, fortunately, the road goes in his favour. And that gives Reveller a chance to get down the inside of Truman. More contact on the bumper of Oscar John Cook. Well, I think it's fair now. We're pushing into the final third of this final. And up front, Luke Cousins has caught James Kimmins at the wrong moment completely. A chance for Greg Aaron. Well, he's looking to get away with that one, Cousins. Just can't help it sometimes around Buckmore Park. It can be a bit one line. Can Greg Aaron take advantage? He can. A good couple of corners for Luke Cousins, and he pulls out half a car length once again. Now where's Glenn Beard? Coming through the shot and under pressure from Miguel Hall over 3rd place. Warming up nicely for a big finish perhaps. Good run through paddock, and it's starting to snow. When it's so cold it won't make the track wet, and it wouldn't matter anyway. It's running as though it was damp. It's so cold, there's so little grip. Blue flags out this time. Swindles getting out the way. Roger Jenkins goes through on one back marker. Swindles takes a look over his shoulder. Will he let the leaders through cleanly? Yes, he will, as best he can. Down the inside of Wojciech Jarzak. Luke Cousins wasting no time. You can't afford to with Greg Aaron on your bumper. Next man up is Roger Jenkins. I think he went off on the first lap. I think we saw him park just out of shot up at hairpin 1. He's eventually been overtaken. Now Swindles will put him a lap down as well. He goes in very deep, and that's allowed Glenn Beard and Miguel Hall to put a lap on Swindles himself. Roger Jenkins 2 laps down. Disappointing second final. Blue flag's been waved. Well, I think it's to the wrong people. Greg Aaron and Luke Cousins are racing for position. You can see up ahead, they're side by side. And Cousins is back in front. Miguel Hall looking to the inside of Glenn Beard. Can't get it done. Swindles running his own race. A lap down, trying not to get in the way. Greg Aaron got a better run out the hairpin, and they're side by side through the S's. And look who's closing in now. Glenn Beard could make this a 3-way dice, and he's towing with him Miguel Hall. Beard made a mistake in Pullman's, was all crossed up, but is still closing in on Luke Cousins. Greg Aaron out front now. He's got 3 kart lengths as we're coming round to start lap 15 of 16. So on to the penultimate lap. We've got a 4-way dice for the lead. Greg Aaron leads from Luke Cousins. Got a kart length on Glenn Beard for now. Miguel Hall closing in. Glenn Beard has got a good run out of Conways. He's down the inside of Luke Cousins. Takes a big bite out of the side pod. Has to cover off. Miguel Hall takes another bite out of the side pod on the other side. Luke Cousins is down to third. Miguel Hall picks up second cheaply, as Luke Cousins and Glenn Beard take a big chunk out of each other. And this has done wonders for Greg Aaron, and a long way back from Glenn Beard. That was over the top. Luke Cousins goes back through to third. Miguel Hall's released in second. I can tell you that the leader, Greg Aaron, is beginning the final lap with a 1-second lead over Miguel Hall, who in turn has a second on the Cousins-Glenn Beard battle. We're riding with Rob Swindles a lap down. Glenn Beard appears to have backed off. I wonder if he's picked up a penalty. Battle on here. Daniel Truman in 9th, under pressure from Oscar Johncock. Richard Ward sticking his nose down the inside, can't get it done. James Reveller is not a million miles away from this battle. There he is, joining the tail of it now. So the battle for 9th rages on. Frederick Gallagher just up the road in 8th. Greg Aaron clear of Miguel Hall down at paddock. I don't think there's any more back markers to get in the way. Sam Sheehan is heading for 5th on the road. Here comes the race leader, heading for victory, his first win of the season. A great day for Miguel Hall. He's going to finish second and take the championship lead. Luke Cousins is third. Glenn Beard crosses the line in 4th place, but has indeed picked up a penalty.